What are some statistics about your life you'd want to know once you die? List of compliments or positive feedback people thought about me but never communicated to me. This is a reminder to let other people know when I think they've done well. Several but off the top of my head. 1. Time spent browsing the web. 2. Total energy used from all sources. 3. Distance traveled. 4. Time spent sober vs under the influence. 5. Close calls on being badly injured or killed. Mayo. Alcoholic here. Need to know number 4. IKR. But I'd guess it'd be interesting if you're drunk or toned all the time. It would be cool to see how many diseases my immune system fought off without me knowing. Especially if I could see the breakdown of diseases. Who are good one. Or how many times cancer popped up and your body was like not today. That actually happens thousands of times per day. But most of the time the immune system catches them because of how they're mutated. How many people actually liked me? Like host days did I legitimately make better? I misread this as how many people actually killed me, and I thought, okay Caesar. Someone's confident about going out via supermurder. Whoops. 1. How much I have peed in my life. Like how many Olympic swimming pools could I fill? 2. How many illnesses have I recovered from? Also like how damaged are my organs? Were my lungs at like 2% health from all my smoking? 3. How many words did I know? How did my vocabulary compare to other people? 4. How many times was I one small choice away from dying? 5. A breakdown of my spending over the years. Edit. Oh shit. Is this gonna be my top rated comment? How many Olympic swimming pools would be not even close to 1? You would have to live about 76 lifetimes to fill an Olympic pool. About 33,000 liters of urine in a lifetime. 438 liters a year / 75-year lifespan. How many times a serial killer thought about murdering me and changed his mind? Let's hope that thought about murdering me and unchanged his mind is equal number of times. If it was an equal by 1 time. That's how I died. Hahaha. 1. How many people found my dad jokes genuinely funny? 2. How many people smiled because of me? 3. How many times did I miss the hint when a woman fancied me? 4. How many chunks of pineapple did I consume while eating Hawaiian pizza? 5. How many slices of pickle did I consume eating takeaways burgers? How many people I've walked past on the street holla deed later that same day? Why? How many times people have thought about robbing me / hurting me and didn't follow through? H. How many opportunities for sex I missed due to being oblivious as fudge? How much money / change I've found vs how much I lost? What percentage of the Earth's land surface I've been over? In any mode of transportation. This last one is interesting. I take a small tram in an airport from the central point out to the terminal I work in about 3 times a day. I began wondering how far I've actually traveled on that stupid tram. I did some quick math, and it turns out, over the last 11 years, I've ridden from the airport in America all the way to east coast of Japan. Oh god, I have wasted my life. How many drawings I've made in total, from toddler age to age of death, and how much paper / computer space I've used to make them all. I'd be awesome if my afterlife was just a gallery of every single piece of art I ever made. Even the ones that don't survive today. That would be really cool. Number of parasites that lived inside me, and the average at any given time. I'd love to know this. One of the coolest biology classes I've ever taken. Kinda made me want one, except that if I had to get a parasite removed I'd want to keep it in a jar or something, and I doubt the doctor would let me have it. Very disappointing. Number of nose piercings done. I feel like I've done enough to have run through the city's population a few times over by now. Number of days spent being lazy by the creek / river / lake. I would find that out right now and make sure I double it in the next few years at least. Number of pool games played and what my overall win / loss ratio is. With that many piercings, is your nose okay? Amount of people Howlett wanted to talk to me, introduce themselves, but did. NT. Percentage I actually catch food in my mouth when I toss it in the air. General accuracy percentage. What one I spent the most money on. Cumulative purchases, not single purchase. Ass. Water. Dare. Clothes. Hairs. Gas. Pizza. ZZA. etc. Which moments I enjoyed the most. How much Pepsi I've drank. It sounds weird, but I'm like too addicted to it, and I've been drinking it constantly every day for years, so it would be interesting to see how much. How many people were glad they knew me versus how many people wish they didn't. I try to be a good person, so I hope that I'm succeeding. How many people /W Harlot missed me, like Ike, after parting ways, AYS, growing apart, art, moving, and so on. I've missed many people, and I wonder if the feeling was mutual. UAL. Oh, this one. I still miss people from a long time ago, and I don't know if it's just me. The number of times I said I wasn't drunk but I was. The numbers of times people were flirting with me, but I was oblivious. The number of socks I've lost. Not really my life, but I wanna know a lot of things. What happened to Madeleine McCann? What happened to Natalie Holloway? What was it really like to live as royalty during the 13th and 14th century? W. Hollett was the Zodiac Killer. W. Hollett was Jack the Ripper. Are there parallel universes? Ross says. ? And, pertaining to me, have I lived other lives before this one? If so, W. Harlot was I? What was the purpose of me living this life? Can I get it do over? My range of people I've helped vs the times I've fucked up, and see if the good outweighs. I've always felt like a good character, but I either do illogical things out of my social personality when I'm not around people, or I laugh at dark sugar. I'd like to know how many times I cold died but didn't. Like, if I had any chance of dying, like maybe a car accident or something, that just because of a little change I skipped it. I'd like to know when, and what did I do to cheat it. I'd want to know how many people thought I actually made a difference. I work in medical administration and we are often painted as bureaucratic, money-grubbing assholes, while doctors and nurses are heroes. Not saying doctors and nurses don't deserve recognition. They definitely do. But it'd be nice to know how many people actually realized I care about their health and comfort as well. How many times I could have had sex with different people. I'd like to know if I messed up or did pretty good for myself. If the number is low. Literally everything. I think about this a lot, and I want to know every single thing I've done and how many times I've done it, at what age etc. A map with all the paths I've taken, like the hero's path in Bot W, and a statistic about how many animals of each kind I have petted. I'd want to know how many times my anxiety or ADHD prevented me from something I would have enjoyed otherwise. All of them. One giant Excel spreadsheet showing everything. But mostly, W. Hollett I have positively impacted, and W. Hollett I have negatively Ted, but I would only want the bad data if I could do something about it. I would love to scroll through literally everything about my life for a few hundred or thousand years. IDK how long it would take. I've never done it. I feel like it would be an amazing learning experience. Too bad it wouldn't do you any good. If people truly liked me, I'm not necessarily depressed, but thinking people like me is more trusting than knowing. Though it seems dumb to do, people could just be your friend because they feel bad for you. I would want to know how many people I've made a positive impact on versus how many I had a negative impact on. That's something I already think about a lot. I make little mistakes and feel like I made a negative impact on a person as a result. So I'd like to see the numbers to see if it's just my depression making me think I'm a bad person, or if I actually was a bad person. The number of celebrity encounters I've had where I didn't realize I was interacting with a celebrity. I wonder about this sometimes, because I've had at least 3 occasions where I had a celebrity encounter, but didn't realize it until after the fact. 1. Jim Nabors was a regular at a bookstore I used to work at, but at the time I didn't know or care. W. Harlow was 2. I helped Raven Simone at a clothing store I worked at once, but didn't realize it was her until afterwards. RDS, when the 2 teen girls I was working with started screaming at me for not recognizing her. 3. Sat next to a guy at an airport for a while and happened to glance over at his computer and realized I was sitting next to the thriller novelist Brad Meltzer, but because I've never read any of his books I couldn't think of any reason to start a conversation with him. So if those are the 3 I know about, how many more are there where I had no idea? The total amount of people that ever saw my face. Not useful. Just it would be cool to know how many people saw this face. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.